Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I am going to be reviewing an absolutely fabulous comic that I read that I really enjoyed. Comic, graphic novel, not sure what I would classify this as, but it was enjoyable and I had a great time and I highly recommend, so I want to talk about it. And that is Mouse Guard Fall 1152 by David Petersen. Again, apologies, I get all my books from the library, so they have this plastic cover over it, so it kind of reflects a lot. Hopefully that's not too annoying. I'll try to hold it still. So this book intrigued me. It was kind of classified with the, it was classified with the adult graphic novels and comics section, and it just seemed like a cute little fun adventure with these mice, so I decided to check it out and give it a read and see what I thought about it. So it is what the cover seems to imply it is about. There is a society of mice that live in these little protected, what would you call them? I'm totally blanking on this very common word, cities. They live in little protected cities because there's a lot of dangers out there when you are a mouse. There's a lot of things that want to eat you. You're a little fun protein snack for everybody. So you want to be protected. And these the mice who are mouse guards are tasked with protecting people and patrolling and taking people from one city to another to make sure they're nice and safe. So we have the core story, which is among these three guards. Their names are Saxon, Kenzie, and Liam. Yeah, I remember them. And they are sent out initially at the beginning of the story to find a merchant who has gone missing, and they discover that the merchant was maybe doing a little more business on the side than was initially known at first. So they thought he was just a grain merchant. Maybe he had a little bit of a side business going on that the mice are interested in knowing about. So this is a story about the guards protecting their territory from internal and external threats. In this book, it really focuses on the internal threat of other factions who have other ideas about the way things should be run. But there's definitely a really rich lore in the town, or in the story. So these towns have a lot of history. It's not just random places that are slapped together that all feel the same. It feels like each place is unique. It feels like the guards are moving through a world that's very real, that's been built up. There's a lot of history. They reference things in the past that don't just feel like things that have been slapped up there to pretend to give it a history. I am not sure if I'm explaining this very well, but the world feels very rich and real. And the back indicates that there's a second book, which I would absolutely read, because these guards' adventures are very interesting and they seem to hint at this very rich, real world. I feel like the author was very creative in this regard. I feel like the world was real, everything was mouse-sized, so that scale was maintained throughout the whole thing, and it was just an enjoyable, fun read. I read it in one sitting, it was really fun, and it was a great read. It was definitely a little darker, so I'd probably not give this to like a second grader. I feel like maybe they'd be fine reading it. I'm very sensitive. It can definitely be a little darker at times. The mice die, the mice get injured, there's treason. So there's quite a bit of stuff going on in here, and it feels like it's heavy enough to capture the attention of an adult reader, but definitely could be read by people younger. So yeah, if the author really balances that really well. I feel like sometimes books that are aimed for a younger audience sometimes don't have enough content there to capture the imagination or the interest of an adult reader, which makes sense. A younger reader might not have the same world experience, or they might be looking for something different in a book, so it makes sense that there's going to be different books at different levels that don't appeal to all people. But this book, the author did a really good job of making, at least I thought it would be interesting to someone a little younger, but also interesting to an adult reader because there's enough content and stuff in this book. So this one, the story was interesting, the content was interesting, the plot was interesting, and I was engaged the entire way. But secondly, the art was really well done. I do not know if the author did the art or if someone else did the art for the author. I'm gonna have to look into that. I think the author did their art. I feel like the art was just really pretty and really well done. I loved it. I like the art style. It felt like it matched the story really well. It was really pretty. I like the color scheme that was used. It was, yeah, just an enjoyable. So the content was good, the art was good, everything was good. I read the whole thing in one sitting. It was enjoyable, the content was interesting. I felt like I was following along these guards and their adventures, and I was intrigued in what was going to happen next. And I'm definitely going to find the second book in the series, as the back seems to indicate there's a next book coming out. I want to learn more about the world. I feel like the world has been really well built up and the characters have been really well built up, and sometimes I find that's difficult to find in a book where both the world is well built up and the characters are well built up. There's definitely examples of it, but sometimes I feel like an author will focus on one more than the other. So I felt like this was a very well-balanced book and there was a lot there, especially for a graphic novel. I feel like sometimes maybe certain things get cut out of a graphic novel due to stylistic choices, but this felt like there was a lot of content in just this amount of space, and I was, yeah, intrigued the entire time. So if you have any interest in reading this, I highly recommend. I would give this a 4-star. This was very, very well done, both the art and the plot and the story. I just felt like it was well done. Very intrigued, very impressed. I'm very glad I checked this out of the library. So let me know what you think if you've read this, or if you have any comments on it. Other than that, everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.